Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is how to apply flawless foundation for beginners. So in most tutorials, they tell you what type of foundation they're using, they tell you how they're applying it, but they don't really go into detail, into depth in every single video because it's kind of impossible to go into depth in every single video. So this video I want just for beginners. I want to teach every single step, how to apply it. Basically anything you need to know about foundation is going to be in this video. So if you want to learn how to apply foundation for beginners, then please keep watching. Step 1, which is literally the most important part, skincare. If you are not taking care of your skin, your makeup's going to show it. If you are not exfoliating, if you're not moisturizing, your makeup is going to show it, and it's going to show how bad your makeup looks. Your makeup is not going to look good unless you take care of your skin. When people always ask, oh, how does your skin look so flawless? It doesn't look cakey. You got to take care of your skin. That is the most important thing. I can't stress it enough. When you start taking care of your skin and you start exfoliating, if you start moisturizing before makeup, you will see a huge difference. So I'm not going to get into depth with all the products I use for skincare, but I did make a video a couple of months ago, which is basically the same exact products that I use now, and I absolutely love it. So I will link it down below for you guys if you want to check out the skincare products I do use and the stuff that I use to moisturize my face and all that type of stuff. Second, so moisturize. I guess you can kind of consider moisturize in skincare, but not really. So you definitely want to cleanse your face. You want to exfoliate. That's all good, and you always want to moisturize after. But before you apply your foundation, you always want to moisturize. You want to make your face really hydrated and really glowy. You want to make sure that your skin is just prepped for makeup to be on top of it. Next, you always want to apply a primer. You really want to determine what type of skin type you have and what type of issues you're kind of trying to attack. So for example, I have pretty normal skin. It's pretty normal. I do get oily in my T-zone throughout the day, so I guess you can say it's kind of like combination. So when I'm applying my primers, I like to get something that is meant for pore filling because I do have large pores on my T-zone. I like something with kind of like a purple primer to really color correct my face, and what purple does, it kind of corrects any dullness, it kind of just brightens up your face. So I like to use a pore primer right into my T-zone to fill the pores, and then I like to use the purple everywhere else around my face. So the primers that I'm currently using for the pore filler, I like the Smashbox Photo Finish Pore Minimizing, and it's oil free. And I like to apply this right into my T-zone, my chin, my forehead, anywhere where I have large pores. And then I like to use my Becca, the First Light Priming Filter, and it's purple and it kind of just brightens up my face. So for anyone with a different type of skin type, I think Makeup Forever has a great range of primers if you're looking for something specific. If you have oily skin and you get really oily throughout the day, they have a mattifying primer, which I think is great. They have primers if you're looking for redness. They have primers if you're dry. They just have a whole range of primers that I think is perfect for any type of skin type that you're kind of looking for. So I always recommend Makeup Forever. Also, there's a whole other type of range of primers that you can get. Smashbox has a whole bunch of primers. They have a green primer for if you want to color correct any redness. They just have a whole bunch of primers. So I think primer is actually pretty important if you are kind of trying to tackle an issue that you really want to not make as noticeable throughout the day. So there is so many ways that you are able to apply foundation. You can use your hand, you can use a beauty blender, you can use any type of brush. There's just endless amount of ways that you can apply foundation. But in this video, we're not looking to just apply foundation. We're looking to apply foundation flawlessly. In my opinion, I think a beauty blender is hands down the best type of tool that you can apply your foundation if you're looking for a flawless, seamless finish, you know, really airbrush looking. I definitely think it's a beauty blender. And plus, most people who even use a brush will use a brush and then go in with a beauty blender, because beauty blenders are just hands down the best thing to make your foundation just look like skin, look like seamless. And that's really what everyone goes for, and that's just what everyone really goes for, and what everyone tries to get. And so I definitely think a beauty blender is the best possible way that you can do it. So everyone really knows, if you watch a lot of makeup tutorials, you know you're supposed to wet a beauty blender. But what people don't know is that sometimes I always see people saying that when they're using their beauty blender, that the makeup is actually picking up the product. Instead of blending in the makeup, it's actually taking the foundation off. And the reason that it's doing that is because your beauty blender is too wet. You're supposed to keep it damp. It's not supposed to be soaking. It's not supposed to be dripping wet. You're really supposed to saturate it, yes. And then when you're done saturating it and done wetting it, you want to squeeze it out where all the water drips out of it, and it's just nice and damp. You don't want it to be soaking wet because you're removing the makeup, and that's really not what we want to do. We want to blend the makeup, and that's the whole point. So you want to make sure that it's damp. Beauty blender you can get at Sephora, Ulta. You can get a beauty blender anywhere, Macy's. I see them at TJ Maxx sometimes for like $10. Alright, so let's talk foundations. There is so many foundations that you can choose from. There's endless amount of possibilities. There's always going to be a foundation that could work for you. You just really have to, I guess the best way to say it is trial and error. You're going to get a foundation, you're going to like it at first, and then when you go out into the sunlight, the shade might be different. It may accentuate your pores more. It's just really about trial and error, and that's the best way I can really explain it. I have tried so many foundations, and when you find one that you really like, stick on to trial and error. But there are all different types of foundations. They have foundations if you have more drier skin, they have more of a luminous foundation. If you have more oily skin, they have a mattifying foundation. So you really want to try to get a foundation. Since I kind of have normal skin, I love the Marc Jacobs foundation. It is extremely full coverage. If you have dry skin, I do not recommend this. It is pretty drying. But like I said, I don't have dry skin. I have pretty normal combination, so this will work if you have oily skin also, because it's a matte foundation. That's what works best with me. So for example, like even though I have normal skin, I do get oily in my T-zone, as I said. So I will not use, like Maybelline has a foundation called the Maybelline Fit Me Dew, the dewy foundation. I actually used that once, and that accentuated my pores so much, and that made me so oily throughout the day. So it's really just the type of foundation you want to use that's best for your skin type. I also have been using this IT Cosmetics CC cream. I use it as a foundation because it's so full coverage. Most of the time when I use CC creams, they're so sheer and they just look like a lotion, like a cream, like as it's supposed to be. But this is literally like a foundation, and I use this all the time. I love it. It has anti-aging serums. That's kind of stuff that I like, that I enjoy. I like anti-aging stuff. I like things that are full coverage. See, those are things that I kind of search for. So you just need to determine what are the type of things that you want to search for. Are you looking for a full coverage? Are you looking for something very sheer? Those are all the type of things that come into play with what type of flawless foundation that you want to achieve. So once you choose what type of foundation you want to try and what foundation you want to go for, next biggest problem I think is picking a shade. And the best way I can try to help you is, the only way is trial and error. Because when you're in the store, you may think you like it, and then when you're in sunlight, it could be like a weird shade on you. It could just not be your undertone. That is something you're just gonna have to go through, trial and error. So also, when you find that foundation foundation that you want to try because you are going after specific things on your skin, you need to determine what type of undertone you have. Everyone has an undertone. There's all different type of undertones, such as a pink undertone, a yellow undertone. There's just there's endless amounts. So you really need to determine what type of undertone you have, what type of foundation you have. You know, there are times when I'm in store and I like a foundation how it looks, and then I'm in the sunlight and my face looks pink. And I really hate that. I prefer a yellow undertone. Even though most people say I am a pink undertone, I personally do not like it because my face looks pink in the sunlight. I don't like it. So you really want to see what type of undertone you have, and then, you know, choose the best shade that you think would work well. So something I do when I'm in stores to see if the shade will match is I like to take some of the foundation and apply it to my neck, kind of like half my neck, half my chin. So a number one rule that people always say is that your foundation needs to match your face. You know, you can't have like a dark foundation when you have a lighter skin. But something that people seem to forget is that most people, including myself, your body is sometimes tanner than your face. Like my chest is a little bit more tanner than my face, so I'm not gonna get a foundation that matches my face, because then my face and my body will be two different colors. I'm gonna choose a foundation that matches my body, because I'd rather put makeup on fairer skin to match the rest of my body than putting a lighter foundation on my face and doesn't match my body. You know, that's just not something people want to do. But sometimes this is what I like to do. You know, not everyone could put makeup on their chest in the store, so I just like to apply some right on my chin, and then when I'm in the store, I'll take my finger and kind of just blend it out. You know, just a little. Like, take a step back, look in the mirror, determine if it matches my chest, you know, and that's kind of how I try to determine it. Sometimes we'll take a flash photo in the store to see how it will look with my chest. That's kind of how I like to choose my shade. This is my shade, so what I like to do is I like to take the foundation and apply it to a brush. And I'm not blending with the brush. I'm using the brush to really paint the foundation on my face. So I like to put it on the brush, and then what I do is I just paint it. I basically just paint my face. And this shade is perfect for me. It may look a little dark on my face, but it's not. It matches my chest to a T, and that's why I really love this foundation also. It's so full coverage. It's so light on the skin. It feels like you're not even wearing makeup, and it just looks so flawlessly. Like, it looks like my Marc Jacobs foundation, but better. And it's only a CC cream, and it's just so light. And I only used like 3 pumps for my whole face. It's just so light on the skin. I love it. I paint my face. I'm going to go ahead with my beauty blender, and it is damp, and I'm going to blend it in. So as I'm blending it in, I'm just bouncing it on my face. You don't want to swipe, because if you're swiping, you're removing the makeup, and that's something you don't want to do. You just want to pounce it into place. You want to pounce it into your skin. And the best part is, some people get nervous with, you know, breaking out and stuff, but that's also why you apply a primer. And what a primer is, it's kind of a barrier to your skin. So it's kind of protecting your skin for all the makeup you're about to put on it. So it's kind of just protecting your skin, not letting all your makeup seep into your skin. So I am just pouncing away, not swiping. And as I said, this is damp. It's not soaking wet. If it was soaking wet, you would see my makeup actually lifting off because it's so wet it's picking up the product. But that's not what it's doing here. It's just blending it in and pouncing it into the skin. My skin legit looks flawless. It looks like my actual skin. It doesn't look cakey. It doesn't look like makeup. It just looks really seamless, and that's exactly what I'm going for. And then what I like to do, I like to apply some concealer, and people really get confused between concealing and highlighting. So you see most people, I do it too, they take concealer all the way down into that triangle way, but that is called highlighting, and that's what people usually do when they want to highlight and contour and all that type of stuff. So if you want to see a highlight and contour for beginners, let me know down below and I could do that for you. But in this video, I just want to conceal my under eyes because I'm also going to work. I'm not going to do a whole highlight and contour for work. I like to conceal because I do have some darkness here, so I like to use a Tarte Shape Tape. Now this is a little bit more drying, so if you have dry skin, I wouldn't recommend this, but I actually know a lot of people who have dry skin and use this still, so it's all about preference. So I'm going to take my Tarte Shape Tape and I'm just going to apply it on my darkness, and then if I have any pimples that I want to conceal, which I don't because the It Cosmetics CC cream was so full coverage, I don't need to. So I just took some concealer and applied it on my darkness, and that is called concealing. So if you have pimples you want to cover, that's called concealing. But if you're putting your concealer on the bridge of your nose and your chin and your forehead, that's called highlighting. There's a difference. I don't want to highlight, I want to conceal. So as again, I'm taking my beauty blender and just pouncing it into my skin. I really just want to cover up my darkness. And I'm just pouncing it into the skin. I am not wiping. Since this is so full coverage, there's sometimes extra product. I will just go over my eyelid and kind of use it as a primer for some eyeshadow that I'm about to apply. And all my darkness is concealed. It just looks very seamless and flawless because the beauty blender also, and I'm just pouncing it into my skin. It's just all meshing together very nicely. And this is usually my go-to stuff that I use on a regular basis. So the next step is you want to set it, and the reason you set it is because you want it to last all day. If you go out throughout the day without setting it, your under eyes with your concealer will start to crease. Your foundation, if you have some lines, your foundation will kind of get into those lines. Your foundation, it can be very, if you hug someone, it'll probably come off. You want to set it with a powder to really lock it all into place so it doesn't go anywhere. You want it to last all day. So I'm just taking some of my Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder, and I'm taking a brush, and I like to set underneath my eyes first. Oh god, I got some powder in my eyes. And then I like to set up here also, since I did apply some, so your eyeshadow will go on nicely. Okay, and I like to take a little more and then go on the side. And then I take like some extra powder and I set the rest on my face. My skin, guys, looks so good. It looks so seamless, it looks so natural, and the best part is that it's comfortable. It doesn't feel like I'm wearing a lot of makeup. Like my Marc Jacobs, I really like, but I usually wear that when I'm going out because I feel like I'm wearing the makeup, and I'm going to work, so I don't want to feel like I'm wearing anything, and it just feels so comfortable on the skin, and that's the whole point. The next step to a flawless face in my opinion, is some bronzer. You want to kind of bronze up your skin. Right now your skin looks very flat and matte, which I love, but I like to apply some bronzer just to give my skin some color and some bronziness. I like to go in with some bronzer and some blush. This is kind of another thing that some people get confused about between bronzer and contouring. So there is a difference. The whole point of contouring is kind of creating some shadows on your face, kind of accentuating some of your features, or you know, really just creating shadows. That's basically what contouring is. So when you are contouring, you want to use a gray shade. So as you can tell here, this is a little bit more grayer. So if I were to be contouring, I would take this shade and apply it to all the places that I kind of want to create, like a cheekbone, kind of create some bone structure, just to create some shadows on your face. You want to take a grayer shade. Since I am not going to be contouring, I'm just bronzing up my skin, I like to take a warm tone bronzer and just apply some on my face. And there's all type of bronzers. You just have to choose which one you like. So I'm going to take some of this middle shade and just bronze up my skin a little. So I'm just taking it, put it everywhere that I usually would contour. But again, I'm not contouring. This isn't creating a shadow. It's just kind of bronzing up my face, kind of making me look a little bit more glowy and sun-kissed. And I apply a very light hand. I don't go crazy with it. But if you do want a how to contour and highlight for beginners, like another in-depth video on just highlighting and contouring, let me know down below, because I could do that for you guys. I really enjoy this palette because it has a bronzer shade, it has another bronzer shade if maybe I was a little tanner, and then it has the contour shade, the gray shade, and then it also has some of these setting powders that you can set underneath your eyes and stuff. It's just very handy to have. So I went ahead and applied some bronzer. I like to take my beauty blender and just pounce over it just to make sure everything is, as I said, very seamless, because that is my goal. My skin looks so natural and flawless. It's just looking really, really nice. Because again, I'm using all the products that I'm kind of going towards. Like, I have no pores right now. You can't see any pores because I'm going after all the things that I kind of want to perfect and things that bother me when I'm not wearing any makeup. Next, for a flawless face, I like to apply some blush. And the reason I like to apply some blush is because my foundation is so full coverage, and I kind of just, right now my face kind of looks flat, like I kind of suck the life out of it a little. So I like to add some blush just to bring some rose back to my cheek to keep it really, again, flawless, seamless, and natural. So this is by BH Cosmetics and the Nudes blush palette. I think they have like 3 different types of blushes. I like this one because it's really natural. I'm going to take these 4 shades right here and just mix them together. When you're applying blush, you kind of want to apply it just to the apples of your cheeks like this, so that when you're smiling and talking, the blush is just right here, making it nice and rosy. Some people, they apply blush way too high, so that when they start talking, like, hi, your blush is up here, when that's really, you want it to be on the apples of your cheek. And then next, a lot of people like to apply highlighter. I kind of don't like to apply highlighter because I feel like it kind of accentuates, it kind of brings back my pores. But since I did put a lot of primer on, I'm just going to add very little, like very little. And I'm applying this on the high points of my cheek. So when you're applying highlighter, you kind of want to apply it where the sun would hit you the most. So the sun usually will hit you like on your cheekbones. I apply it above my bronzer. I apply it here a little so that when the sun hits, it just looks very glowy and radiant. And that's all I do. Barely noticeable, but but it is noticeable in the sun. And I take my beauty blender and I pounce it. Again, a beauty blender is so handy. It just makes everything so seamless. So my skin looks incredible right now. I'm going to go ahead and finish my eyes and apply some mascara, and I will be back in a minute. So I went ahead and applied some eyeshadow. I used the Modern Renaissance. I applied mascara, and then I applied lip gloss by Dose of Colors in the shade Undressed. I absolutely love how my foundation looks. It is just so flawless. It looks so seamless. It just looks very flawless. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It just looks so seamless and natural. My face just feels so comfortable. And then to top it all off, to make sure everything just blends in together, you want to apply a setting spray. And a setting spray really just locks in your foundation. It really makes it last all day. And again, there are different types of setting sprays. I like to use something a little bit oil controlled to really tame my oils in my T-zone. They do have a luminous setting spray. They have a whole bunch of setting sprays. I already sprayed mine. I use the Urban Decay All Nighter one. It's the oil control one. It's the white bottle, and I love it. I feel like my makeup literally will look this flawless at 9 o'clock at night, and right now it's 11 o'clock in the morning. So I absolutely love it. So yeah, those are all my tips and tricks, and really just I feel like this was really in depth. I tried not getting too crazy. I didn't want it to be like an hour-long video. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed these little tips and tricks and, you know, just my way of applying a flawless finish foundation. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I really hope I helped some of you. Let me know down below what you guys want to see next, and also let me know down below of what you thought of this video, and if you like these type of videos. And if you do like it, can you please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe before you go. I will see you all in my next video.
To see what happens next. How far can we get if we sail a little bit high, a little bit low? How far can we get if we sail a little bit high, a little bit low? We're still a little bit young, but I'm all in. We're still a little bit dumb, but I'm all in. We're still a little bit young, but I'm all in. We're still a little bit dumb, but I'm all in. A little bit high, a little bit low. I need us to be